Erik, a Bostonian resident and single father, talks to us about what it was like to raise his daughter Nyla as a gay man who came out in his later years.
So the decisions that I had to consider when becoming a parent, it wasn't planned. So I think it was just a given. Her mother got pregnant, and there was no question about whether or not I would be a father, and I would be there for her. So I think it was just the decision was clear. I had to be a father and be involved in her life.
Erik details that at the time of his daughter's birth, he identified as a heterosexual man, one who was in a serious relationship with his daughter's mother.
So I was in a relationship with her mother. I identified as straight. I think I knew things about myself. I just don't think I consider myself to be gay. I didn't see myself living with a guy, being in a relationship with a guy. I knew I was attracted to guys, and that's all I thought it was. And so with her mother, it was a 5 year relationship, and um, within the first year of the relationship, she was pregnant, and we had Nyla.
Erik also talks about certain aspects of being a single gay dad.
Yeah, so I think people have take issue with gay parents and think it's not feasible or it's not something that's normal or whatever you want to call it. I think it's just more because being gay is seen as kind of a negative thing. It's not a normal thing. Um, but I think parenting as a gay father or gay parents I know, we parent the same way as anyone else. We do the same thing. I took my daughter to school. I went to her performances. I made sure she was clean. I did her hair. I played with her. All the normal things that any parents did. I read books to her at night. So there's no real difference. I loved her the same way any parent would love their child. Um, the difference being that I'm a man who is in a relationship with a guy. And that's really the only difference. But I
Erik
didn't come
says that
out later,
although
so it
having a child
wasn't.
was fun,
Yeah,
it was not
at
void
least
of
she's
hard
never
work.
shared with me
He
that she
details
got
the
bullied.
fact
She
that for
was
much of
picked
his
on for
daughter's
other
life,
reasons
he
and
was the
wasn't
sole
kind of
provider and
the
caretaker,
typical.
primarily.
So Nyla's mother, we split up when Nyla was 3.5, and I got sole custody when she was 5, and so I moved back to be closer to family to help out because I did raise her pretty much on my own. Her mother was in and out of her life for parts of her growing up, but for the most part, she's pretty much out of her life. And I think that that was just, for personal reasons or for whatever reasons, it was just something that she, as a mother, didn't feel connected or didn't feel like she could rise to the occasion to parent. And so for me, it was just, again, a no brainer. This is the hand I've been dealt, and this is a wonderful child, and this is my daughter, and I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure she's loved and protected. And so I just surrounded her with lots of great people, and when needed, for bra shopping or for other female things going on in her life, I made sure that women in her life were there to support her. Her mother's family is really involved in her life and has been, which has been great. So her grandmother on her mother's side, as well as my family. So she's been surrounded with a lot of love. But unfortunately, I think her mother just, for whatever reason, just wasn't able to be connected.
He notes that he
I
is
think other
positively perceived by the
challenges,
public when
and
the fact that he
I
is a
think that was
single
probably
father
the main
becomes
challenge.
known.
People's perception of me when they see me with Nyla, even now, I think now more so than ever, they actually question if we're related, like brother and sister. They think either we're boyfriend and girlfriend. So for me, I'm obviously flattered by that. I think, oh, of course, I like that. Nyla thinks it's disgusting. She's like, no, that's my dad. But for me, it's a compliment. And I think even when I was raising her, when she was younger, there was people would think, in her, preteen years or whatever, that I was her older brother, or they didn't put the father daughter connection. I think once they realized I was her father, there was never really a question about my, identity as far as sexuality was concerned, or it was just people would more, once they found out I was a single father, they were drawn to that more so. Like they were, you know, they commended me for it. They thought it was something to be so proud of, and not realizing that I could be some psycho for all they knew. I could be beating my child that night and torturing her or whatever. But I think the assumption was because I was a man taking care of a child that I was a good man, which I don't think necessarily is always true. Um,
Regarding his status as a gay man, he notes that his daughter was never really teased for her father's sexuality, but rather just normal kid stuff.
so I don't. So Nyla's never experienced bullying or harassment because of me of my being gay. I think again because I didn't come out until later, and so I don't think it was really part of her. I mean, she knew, um, but I didn't come out later, so it wasn't. Yeah, I don't. At least she's never shared with me that she got bullied. She was picked on for other reasons and went through kind of the typical stuff that kids go through. But as far as I know, I don't think she was ever picked on because of my being gay.
Overall, Eric flaunts
No,
a
I'm
healthy,
joking. I'm
respectful, and
joking.
joy-filled relationship
What
based
did,
on love with his daughter
so did
Nyla.
you
He
what
wants
did you do
people
at
to
work
know
today?
that your sexuality does not make you a good or a bad parent, but instead, the content of your character and the way you treat your child is what will set you apart as the best. For JR 103, I'm Kevin Milton.